Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. In this episode of Classic Radio Theater, we're going to have an entire Thanksgiving series of shows. We're going to have a full-hour program of Good News of 1940, an episode of The Aldrich Family starring Bobby Ellis, Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce and The Couple Next Door, an episode in support of War Day from this date back in War Bond Day in 1944, and an episode of The Answer Man with answers to questions about Thanksgiving. That's all coming up in this 2-hour podcast. I have to talk to you for a moment and let you know something that's been going on. As you noticed on our show that aired yesterday, I did not have much of a voice. And quite frankly, at that point, I had done nothing but local radio for about 5 days. I suffered a health issue. I suffered another infection. And the way it hit me, it was a sinus infection, and I basically lost my voice, and I had an extreme sore throat. I had sinus, I had cough, I had all of that stuff. And the first thing that was told to me by an acquaintance, because I just attributed it because of the symptoms and the way it came down, was that it was my annual sinus infection. But because of the cough, it was mentioned to me at our local senior center by somebody at our senior center because I didn't feel well. I said, I hope you don't have the C word. You know, that virus, you know, the bat virus from China, as people like to call it. And it wasn't. And I knew it wasn't. But to be safe, I took myself out of circulation for a week, except for doing our local radio here. And there was one day where I could just barely survive. I croaked through a 45-minute show locally. But after a week of resting and keeping the phlegm out of my chest, and lots of the usual stuff, lots of lemon water, and beautiful tea. I have to tell you, and it's probably not very good for me, but I got the Lipton green tea, purple acai blueberry, and had that every morning, and lots of hot chocolate, keeping the throat lubricated, and I got through it, and I'm back with it here. And it just goes to show you that I take a lot of vitamin supplements. And, you know, maybe tomorrow I'll talk a little about my vitamin supplement regimen. I don't want to sell them, but I will tell you that I take a good, solid, non-commercial vitamin supplement along with cinnamon and niacin and a couple of other supplements that I can't remember off the top of my head because I wasn't going to talk about that. But I'll talk about that if you'd like. Bottom line is vitamin supplements keep me very healthy and keep my system together. And that's good. In fact, right now I'm drinking some aloe water, which is also good for you. Yeah, I'm fat. Yeah, I like my chocolate. Yeah, I like stuff that I probably shouldn't have. But you know what? I try to keep myself as healthy as possible, and so should you. Alrighty, we thank you for making us a part of your Thanksgiving. This is Thursday, 23rd day of November, 327th day of the year, 38 days left till we get to 2023. Tammany Hall leader William Marcy Tweed, Boss Tweed, delivered to authorities in New York City on this date in 1876 after being captured in Spain. Colorado Governor James Peabody sent the state militia into the town of Cripple Creek, Colorado, to break up a miners' strike in 1903. In 1933, King Features signed an agreement with Fleischer Studios to create a series of animated cartoons around the Thimble Theater characters but especially one fella, Popeye the Sailor.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm one of gazookas, which hates all palookas, what hates honey up and square. Why biffs and I bops 'em and always outroughs 'em, but none of them gets nowhere. If anyone dashes to risk me fist, it's pop and it's wham, understand? So keep good behavior, that's your one lifesaver with Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Now, William Costello, the original voice of Popeye, a voice that would be replicated by later performers such as Jack Mercer, as you heard there, and even Mae Castal. Among the other characters on Thimble Theater in the comic strips, lanky, long-nosed slacker Harold Hamgravy and his scrappy, headstrong girlfriend, Olive Oil. In its earliest weeks, the scripts featured the duo along a rotating cast of primarily one-shot characters acting out various stories and scenarios in a parodic theatrical style, hence the strip's name. So there you go. Popeye, moving from the newspapers to the big screen on this date in 1933. The first edition of Life magazine, published on this date in 1936. For the first time, back in 1954, the Dow Industrials closed above the peak it reached just before the 1929 crash. So think about that. It took 25 years to regain all that lost ground. And 2 wars, may I add. In 1959, General Charles de Gaulle, President of France, declared a speech in his vision for Europe from the Atlantic to the Urals. 1963, the first episode of the long-running science fiction television series Doctor Who, An Unearthly Child, aired on the BBC. And now we've gone through how many Doctor Whos? In 1981, Ronald Reagan signed the top secret National Security Decision Directive 17, giving the CIA the authority to recruit and support Contra rebels in Nicaragua. On the football field on this date in 1984, Boston College quarterback Doug Flutie threw a game-winning 48-yard Hail Mary pass to Gerald Phelan to defeat the University of Miami Hurricanes 47-45.
3 wide receivers out to the right. Flutie flushed. Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Eagles win it.
Unbelievable.
I don't believe it. Phelan is at the bottom of that pile. Here comes the Boston College team. He threw it into the end zone. There was no time left on the clock. The ball went between 2 defensive backs of Miami. Jack Bicknell is the only person over there on the sidelines. He couldn't get the headset off fast enough. Doug Flutie has done it. And your heart goes out to Bernie Kosar, who did everything he could. And like we said, it went down to the last at bat.
Brent Musburger, Ara Parseghian, Pat Hayden with a play from CBS, one of the most famous plays in American college football history. And it did, as they said, eclipse Miami's quarterback Bernie Kosar's school record, 447 yards passing, and Miami running back Melvin Bratton rushing for 4 touchdowns. Flutie became the first collegiate quarterback ever to surpass 10,000 yards passing in a college career. In 2015, Blue Origin's New Shepard space vehicle became the first rocket to successfully fly to space and then return to Earth for a controlled vertical landing. A very sad day for our friend Jimmy in Boston, as passing away on this date in 1972, Marie Wilson of My Friend Irma fame, cancer took her at the young age of 56. Also passing away on this date in history, actress Merle Oberon, actor Klaus Kinski, musician Roy Acuff, pro wrestler Art Barr, singer Anita O'Day, and from Dallas and I Dream of Jeannie, Larry Hagman. Born on this date in history, Boris Karloff.
Hello, little man. Who are you? I'm jolly old Saint Nick. Fee, fi, fo, fa, I mean ho, ho, ho.
If he keeps laughing like that, he'll split his sides.
Have you been a good boy, Asa?
Yes, I was a good boy, and I was a good middle-aged man, too. But lately I've been slipping a little.
Nevertheless, you're still on Santa's list. I'm a little late this Christmas Eve. I was delayed. One of my reindeers slipped and fell.
What did you do?
I ate him.
From a 1947 Christmas edition of the Kraft Music Hall with Al Jolson, Boris Karloff, born on this date in history. Also born on this date in history, and what does it say that we put Boris Karloff ahead of a president? The 14th president of the United States, Franklin Pierce, born on this date. Actor John Dehner, and we remember him starring roles from my favorite series on Escape, which was Earth Abides, but also as Paladin in Have Gun Will Travel, and as the Frontier Gentleman. John Dehner, born on this date in history. Singer Betty Everett, the Shoop Shoop Song. Actress Dominique Dunn. And a man who never spoke much, Harpo Marx.
How do you do, Harpo? I'm Mrs. George Burns. Oh, thank you. You think I'm pretty, huh? My figure does things to you? You just can't take your eyes off my face? I'm young and alluring and irresistible siren. I fascinate you. Oh, you little devil, what a line you've got.
From a 1946 episode of the George Burns Gracie Allen Show with Gracie Allen there, Harpo Marx, born on this date in history. Turning 73 years old today, politician Chuck Schumer.
And let me say this to all of the chattering class that so much focuses on those little tiny, yes, porky amendments. The American people really don't care.
And they don't care about graft and corruption either, do they? Chuck Schumer, 73 years old today. How he still represents New York, I don't understand, but what can I say? I shouldn't get political, but I do. Bruce Hornsby in the Range. That's just the way it is. 69 years old today. He starred in Grease 2. Maxwell Caulfield, 64 today. From Good Morning America and ESPN, Robin Roberts is 63. Comedian Chris Hardwick, 52. From Mad TV, Lisa Arch is 52. From Showtime's Weeds, Paige Kennedy, 47, and Hannah Montana herself, Billy Ray Cyrus's little girl, Miley Cyrus, 31. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 23rd day of November as their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Now Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we'll start off by going back 84 years, November 23rd, 1939, for an episode of Good News of 1940. Thanks for tuning in. This is Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But first...
Listen and learn through civil defense. This is Johnny Cash. I'd like all of you to remember that America can withstand enemy attack if we support the emergency plans of our community and learn to help ourselves. Make sure you're prepared. Contact your local civil defense office today.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the first half of the Good News of 1940. This goes back 84 years to November 23rd, 1939. And let's hear a Thanksgiving. We're going to hear a Thanksgiving comedy. Well, we'll hear a lot of stuff here. We're going to hear an Arch Oboler sketch in this. We're also going to hear a sketch called 99 and 44 100% Puritan. Here Come the Pilgrims. And more stuff as we get to the Good News of 1940.
Maxwell House Coffee presents Good News of 1940. The makers of Maxwell House Coffee welcome you once again to an hour of entertainment brought to you each week from Hollywood and starring Fanny Brice, Hanley Stafford, Connie Boswell, and Meredith Wilson and his orchestra. Tonight's guests of honor are Walter Huston and one of the screen's foremost character comedians, Raymond Walburn. And here is your host for this hour of entertainment, Edward Arnold.
Good evening, everybody. I think we've got another grand show for you tonight. Our old friend Walter Huston and that amusing fellow Raymond Walburn. And to start our program, Meredith Wilson has arranged a special opening number with some sort of seasonal flavor. What's the name of it, Meredith?
Winter Wonderland. Say, Eddie, I certainly enjoyed that Thanksgiving turkey at your house today, but I'd like to make a suggestion.
Later. Ladies and gentlemen, Meredith Wilson plays Winter Underwear.
Wonderland.
Okay, play it. Fine, Meredith, fine. Now we continue with the Good News program.
Pardon. I enjoyed that party at your house, Eddie, but I'd like to make just one little criticism.
Something the matter with the turkey?
No, the turkey was fine, what there was of it.
What?
And there was plenty of it, such as it was. As a matter of fact, even if it was no good, I wouldn't complain about it. I'm too well bred.
Yes, I can see that. But what is it that's rankling on your breast?
Oh, that's gravy. But if I thought you wouldn't take offense, I'd like to make just one suggestion.
Well, I'd be glad to have a suggestion. Go ahead.
All right. It was in regards to, you're sure you won't mind?
Oh, certainly not, old fellow. Go on.
Well, just about the time that dinner was over, You know, Eddie, I think the reason I'm hesitating over this is that I have a cousin who's a fat lug, too, and he's very touchy.
And do you ever give him suggestions?
All the time. But I want to be sure you'll take what I'm going to say in the right spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, what I was thinking was that at your party, right after the... Listen, Eddie, you're sure I won't hurt your feelings?
Come on, what is it?
All right, you asked for it. I don't think it was right for you to have those collie dogs of yours in the dining room while we were eating dinner.
Well, I must say that's a very silly criticism. I have those dogs in the dining room with me every evening. Well, they're extremely well-mannered.
Well, maybe so. But it was awfully annoying to have them sitting there for half an hour licking my fingers.
Well, if you'd eat with a knife and a fork, you wouldn't be so friendly.
Oh. I knew you'd lose your temper. I'll never make another suggestion to you again.
Now you're cooking with gas. All right, we'll go ahead with the program. Ladies and gentlemen, our guests of honor this evening are Walter Huston.
Oh, I like him.
Good. And that amiable gentleman of the screen, Raymond Walburn.
Well, that's a relief.
What do you mean, a relief?
I was afraid you were going to have that uncouth Rosenblum again.
Well, what's the matter with him? I think he's very amusing, and so does the public.
Amusing nothing. He's a dope. Well, he's no actor. The guy is punch drunk.
Well, Meredith, he's been in 400 fights. What's your excuse?
Connie, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I couldn't hold back any longer, Eddie.
Well, I'm sure I don't see what's so funny.
Well, I don't care, Meredith. I really don't. But after that remark, I think you'd better crawl up on that stand.
Okay.
Miss Boswell, will you favor us with a song?
I sure will, Eddie. And I'd like to say I enjoyed your party. With no ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, what a girl. What a girl. Ladies and gentlemen, Connie Boswell sings one of the brightest of the new songs, Scatterbrain.
You're as pleasant as the morning and refreshing as the rain. Isn't it a pity that you're such a scatterbrain? When you dance, it's so delightful. When you talk, it's so insane. Still, it's charming, scatterbrain. I know I'll end up apoplectic, but there's nothing I can do. It's just the same as being in a hurricane. And though my life will be too hectic, I am so in love with you. Nothing else will matter. You're my darling scatterbrain. You're as true as New Year pudding. You're as sweet as sugar cane. What a shame, what a shame that you're a scatterbrain. When we dance, I think it's heaven till about the third refrain. What a shame. What a shame that you're a scatterbrain. I'm much too athletic. I'm up that well-known tree. I've tried to understand your double talk in vain. Oh, please forgive your critics, 'cause you mean so much to me. Nothing else can matter. My scatterbrain. What a shame that you're a scatterbrain.
And here's Warren Hull all ready to set the next scene. Thanks, Eddie. The scene is just outside the football stadium nearest your town and mine. It's just a few minutes before game time. The sky is gray. There's a real chill in the air. Say, I've never seen so many smiling faces. As we join the huddle of happy young people to our right, we hear...
Say, Judy, pass that thermos of coffee over this way, will you please?
Right, Bob. But go easy on us. We'll be frozen before the game is over unless we save some coffee for the half.
Okay, Judy. But say, next time, let's bring more coffee. Football and Maxwell House coffee mean a big afternoon in any man's language.
Yes, whether it's on the campus or in the kitchen, there's nothing like the cheery stimulation and friendly warmth of a steaming, fragrant cup of Maxwell House coffee to set a man right with the world. You see, ever since it was created more than 50 years ago by a man named Joel Cheek, this famous coffee has been a favorite with thousands of men the country over. First, because we found a way to further enrich this famous coffee blend so wonderfully that now you get extra goodness, extra body and richness, flavor you may never have known in coffee before. Second, there's the new radiant roast process, which roasts each coffee bean evenly all the way through. No chance this way of weak coffee from under-roasting or bitter coffee from parched coffee beans. And that's why today more people are enjoying Maxwell House than ever before in its history. So if you haven't tried Maxwell House coffee lately, get a pound tomorrow, won't you? We think your own enjoyment and satisfaction will tell you this new Maxwell House is now, more than ever, good to the last drop.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Fanny Brice's Baby Snooks. Well, it had to happen sooner or later. Daddy, played by Hanley Stafford, has received a jury summons and must appear in court today. To make matters worse, this is Daddy's busy day at the office. And as the scene opens, we find him dressing hurriedly and in none too pleasant mood. Listen.
Fine thing. 5 million people in this city, and they have to pick me for jury duty. I'll give the guy life.
Good morning, Daddy.
What's good about it?
Huh?
Nothing. Look out, Snooks. I'm in a hurry.
Where you going?
I have to be in court in half an hour. Where's my pants?
You got 'em on.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll look for him myself.
Where you going, Daddy?
I told you I have to go to court.
Why?
I've been called for jury duty. I've got to appear in a suit.
What kind of suit?
They didn't tell me. It can be any kind of a suit.
You want to wear my Mickey Mouse suit?
Snooks, this has nothing to do with clothes. Someone is suing somebody else.
Why?
I don't know. I'll find out when I get there.
Why do you have to go, Daddy?
Because I'm going to be a member of the jury.
I want to join, too.
Now, don't start any of that nonsense. In the first place, little girls don't serve on juries.
Why?
Because that's the law. A jury is composed of 11 jurors and a foreman.
What for?
He gives the verdict. All juries must have foremen.
You said they had 11.
They have got 11, but they have foremen besides.
They have 15 men?
No, they only have 12.
Huh?
Yes, there's 11 men on juries, and with the foremen makes it 12.
11 and 4 is 12?
No, 11 and 4 is 15. But the foreman in this case happens to be just one man, and he's the foreman. Sometimes the jury has 12 jurymen, and they're all ladies.
The foreman, too?
Exactly.
Do you feel all right, Daddy?
Listen, Snooks, it doesn't make any difference how I feel. I still have to go to court and serve on that broken-down jury. Understand?
Understand. What's a jury?
What did I just get through telling you?
11 and 4 is 12, and all the men is ladies. That's what you told me.
I didn't say anything of the kind. If they were all ladies on the jury, what would I be doing there?
I know.
Now, you stop that. Getting more like your mother every day. Now, let me finish dressing.
I want to go with you, Daddy.
You can't go with me. They don't allow children in court.
Why?
Because it's a very serious thing. The only people present are the lawyers, the judge, and jury. We have to decide whether the man is innocent or guilty.
Which man?
The man that's being tried.
What's he trying to do, Daddy?
He's trying to get free. Today, he gets his hearing.
Is he deaf? Is he a deaf man?
No, he's not deaf.
You don't have to yell. I ain't deaf either.
Well, then, don't bother me with questions.
Why?
Because I'm in a hurry. If I don't get to court on time, they'll hold me in contempt.
Where's that?
It's no place. It's a breach of the law, and I'll get a fine.
Get what?
Fine.
You like it, Daddy?
No, I hate it. But I have to go just the same. When people are called for jury duty, they have to go because they receive subpoenas.
I want some peanuts, too.
I I didn't say some peanuts. I said some peanuts. Subpoenas.
Well, what do you have to do there?
Well, as soon as I get to court, I'm challenged by both lawyers.
I want to see you fight them.
I don't fight them. They interrogate me.
Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. It simply means the lawyers ask me a lot of questions before they swear me in.
Huh?
I have to swear.
Do you make the lawyers mad, Daddy?
Nobody makes me mad!
Well, why do you have to swear at them?
I don't swear at the lawyers. I take an oath that I'll see justice served properly. Then the court is called to order. The lawyers come in with their briefs.
Is that all they wear?
They don't wear their briefs. They hand them to the judge.
Ain't he got any of his own?
Why, no. The only briefs he's got are those he gets from the lawyers. And you know what he does?
He puts them on.
Snooks, these are not the kind of briefs people wear. These briefs are just paper.
Mommy's got snow.
I don't care what money he's got. Now, these papers contain the evidence in the case. That's how the lawyers present the bare facts. Is everything clear to you now?
Nobody wears nothing.
Everybody is fully dressed. The evidence is presented, the witnesses testify, the lawyers argue the case, and then the judge charges the jury.
How much?
He doesn't charge them money. He places the case in the hands of the jury. We weigh the testimony and bring in the verdict.
I want to go see you do it.
No, and I've got to leave right now.
Oh, take me with you. Oh.
You'll what?
I'll shake my head till my head falls off.
Oh, please, Snooks, don't make any trouble now. I'll be late for court.
Take me with you, Dad.
No. Now, look here. I'll show you what happens there. Satisfied?
Satisfied.
All right. You'll be the defendant, and I'll be your lawyer. Now, you take the stand.
Where shall I take it, Daddy?
Nowhere. Just sit in that chair and hurry. Now, you were charged with stealing some cookies from the kitchen.
Am I?
Yes. First, I have to swear you in. Repeat after me. I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me.
I suddenly swear to smell the fruit, the whole fruit.
Never mind. I'll just examine you.
Shall I stick out my tongue?
No. I'm going to prove that you didn't take those cookies from that cookie jar.
You can't do it.
Why not?
Because I took them.
Well, that's fine. You're convicted. The state rest. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Meredith Wilson's next number is so good I've got to break down and apologize for losing my temper with him a few moments ago. Meredith, I am truly sorry.
Okay, Ed. Possibly I was at fault.
Don't let's go into that. But honestly, here's another one of these arrangements in the South American rhythm that really does something to me. This time, it's The Moon Was Yellow. And ladies and gentlemen, it's marvelous.
pillow. Behold, the moon is yellow, and the night is young. My love is mellow, and my hopes are strong. Around that Cupid fellow, behold, the moon is yellow, and the night is
And now I want you to meet one of the most amusing and versatile comedians and character actors in Hollywood. On the screen, you know Raymond Walburn as a conniving gentleman with a blustering manner and a roving eye for the fair sex. Off the screen, he is quiet, reserved, and almost monkish in his habits. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the other side of Raymond Walburn, better known as the Deacon. All right, Raymond, come on out and say hello to the people. I'm afraid we've got the wrong side of Walburn. He's coming on here with three very lovely girls.
Now, Eddie, don't get me wrong. You know, these pretty little flowers are my nieces, the daughters of my only sister who resides in Denver.
Well, that's all right.
They have attended exclusive finishing schools in the East, but every winter they come out here to spend a little time with their old Uncle Raymond. You know, they're lovely, well-bred girls.
Yes, I'm sure of that.
Now, girls, I'll have to find some seats for you. How about those seats in the front row, or would you rather sit on the stage?
I don't really think here. We'll sit on the stage, mister.
Miss...
Your nieces.
Yeah. They're very formal children, Eddie. An old Chicago family.
I thought you said Denver.
Oh, I did say Denver. You're quite right, Edward. But I might just as well have said Schenectady.
Why?
My sister's third husband was a gypsy. Yeah. They're beautiful children, aren't they?
I should say so. Why, they could be in Earl Carroll's show.
They are, Eddie. They are. Sit down, girl. Sit down.
Well, Deacon, you've crossed me up. Here I've been trying to show the public your offstage character, and you walk in with a handful of chorus girls. Now, is that cricket?
No, Eddie, but it's more fun. However, Edward, you can put your mind at rest. These delicate creatures are business associates of mine.
Yes?
Yes, they hold responsible positions in one of my holding companies.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
This is most interesting, Deacon. Not many people know this, but I myself am behind a big corporation.
Well, I think everybody knows it, Eddie. I do, really. You know, this particular company of mine is known as Turkey Enterprises Incorporated. My corporation supplies turkeys to our client by subscription.
Oh, well, how does it work?
I let my board of directors give you the standard sales talk. Ladies?
When do we eat?
That's the whole thing in a nutshell. But in order to make it a little clearer, Edward, I'll explain it myself. Now, in the month of March, I receive $400 in subscription money. Then I go out and purchase one turkey by the name of Sylvia for $3.
That's a pretty name.
For a turkey, yes. That leaves me a net profit of $397.
So far.
By careful manipulation and diplomatic treatment, mind you, the turkey is persuaded to lay eggs.
Oh, Sylvia lays eggs.
Yes, at the rate of 5 a day.
Now, Deacon, I don't like that.
Well, the turkey don't like it either. No. Now, by the end of June, I have 400 turkeys and 900 eggs. Now, would you be interested in investing in this enterprise?
Now, listen here, Deacon. Did you come onto this program just to to sell turkeys?
I beg your pardon. Certainly not, Eddie. I'm really trying to let my friends in on a good thing.
Yeah, well, I see. Maybe this will surprise you, Deacon, but I was once a confidence man myself.
That is an ugly term, Edward.
Yes, I know, but as one crook to another, let me tip you off. There's nobody around here dumb enough to put money in your scheme.
Oh, that's very discouraging, Eddie, very discouraging. Now, wait a minute. What about that rube over there with the hair?
Oh, you don't say that. That's Meredeth Wilson. He's the mental type you're looking for, but I don't know.
I'll bet he carries a change purse. Introduce me to him.
Okay. Oh, Meredith, I want you to meet Mr. Walburn. He's an investment counselor.
Well, Mr. Walburn, it's an honor.
And these ladies here are my board of directors.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Mr. Wilson, you seem like a man of discernment. Do you know anything about turkeys?
Do I? You might not think it to look at me, but I was raised on a farm.
Well. That just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. No. So you're familiar with raising turkeys, eh?
I slept with turkeys till I was 9.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir. My father raised turkeys.
Meredith was the oldest.
Well, I know one thing. You can't make any money with turkeys.
Quite right, my boy. Quite right. Are you married?
In a small way. Don't let that bother you, girls.
We won't.
Well, tell me, Mr. Wilson.
Wilson, 2 L's. Normandy 2348. That's my office phone if anybody's interested.
I'll have to get my hunting license.
Tell me, Mr. Wilson, how are you going to remember your wife this Christmas?
Well, how can I forget her? She'll be right there under the tree.
No. I'm talking about a little gift to gladden her heart. Would you be interested in a fur coat?
Slightly stolen?
What's that?
Nothing. Mr. Williams, Wilson. I can get you a nice fur coat for Mrs. Williams very reasonably. Finest fur on the market.
Well, will it stand the rain?
Well, did you ever see a skunk carry an umbrella? No. I can let you have this coat for, well, now, how much money did you say you had?
$300.
$300!
Well, that's lucky, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Could you get to the bank tomorrow morning? And,
I'm too smart for those banks, Mr. Walburn. I carry the money right with me, pinned to my undershirt.
You say you have $300 on your person at this very moment?
Yes, sir.
I see. How would you like to come over to my house and take a shower?
Wait a minute, Deacon. Chisel it. Don't steal it.
Okay. On second thought, my boy, that fur coat would not be a good investment for you. For $300, I'm going to let you have 300 shares of stock in the Spurious Gold Mine Incorporated. That entitles you to all the privileges.
Well, what does that mean?
That means that you'll be taken into the firm.
Oh, boy. I always say, he who hesitates has lost. Here's the 300, Mr. Walburn.
Thanks. You're a shrewd operator, my boy.
Well, when will you take me in?
You've been taken in already. Ladies, a new addition to our board of directors.
When do we eat?
Right now. See you later, Eddie.
Return in just a moment when you will hear Walter Huston in a stirring drama and the entire cast in a comedy sketch. In the meantime, we pause briefly for station identification.
And we will hear the conclusion of NBC's Good News of 1940 from 84 years ago, November 23rd, 1939, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues following these messages.
Friends, this is Jim Amici. About 40,000 lives a year needlessly lost. The circumstances were traffic accidents, but, says the National Safety Council, the causes were human. Human failure to pay attention to the road and weather conditions, to slow down when needed, or even to care whether you arrive safely. Make safe driving your responsibility.
And that's the voice of Don Amici's brother, Jim Amici. Well, for a great actor, his diction sure wasn't really very good there, was it? Now, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the podcast continues now with the conclusion of the Good News of 1940, 84 years ago today, November 23rd, 1939.
This is Edward Arnold again, and we continue our Maxwell House Good News program with a tune I first heard Meredith play several weeks before I was even a member of the Good News cast. It's one of the season's hits called 100 to 1. Be sure and listen for the counting in the second chorus. Meredith?
100 to 4, there'll be more. It's 100 to 5, love's a ride. It's 100, 6, and 7 that I'm on my way to heaven. It's 100 to 1, I'm in love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 8, 9, 12, 11, 12, 13, plus 15, 16, plus 18, 19, 12, plus 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, plus 29, 4, 31, 32, 33, 34, plus 36, plus 38, 39, 12, 41, plus 43, 44, 45, 46, plus 48, plus 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, plus 58, 59, 61, 62, plus 64, 65, 66, plus 68, 69, plus 1, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9, 81, 2, 3, plus 5, 6, plus 88, 89, plus 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, plus 98, 99, all in 100 to 1, I'm in love. It's 100 to 2, that is true. It's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that I'm on my way to heaven. It's 100 to 1, I'm in love.
And now I'm proud to present to you again one of the most distinguished American actors, our guest of honor, Walter Huston.
Tonight, Walter Huston will play an old part in a new play, a part, curiously enough, that he created years before the play was written, Bright World by Arch Oboler. The scene is an orphan's picnic in a public park. The warm air sings with the happy voices of children on a long-awaited holiday. But all the children are not at play. One small boy sits huddled on the grass, far apart from the others. Another small boy approaches him and hesitantly speaks to him.
Oh, Ted.
What do you want?
Well, the fellas thought maybe I'd come over and be with us. We're having lots of fun.
I don't want to.
Oh, but Ted, everybody's having so much fun. Well, the games are playing. Even you could... I mean, you could...
Let me alone.
Oh, gosh, Ted, everybody says if you only start laughing again, you'll feel better.
Oh, leave me alone, I said. I don't want to laugh. I don't want nothing.
But, Ted, the games...
I said leave me alone. Go on, beat it.
Okay, Ted, if that's what you want. Hurry up, Joe. We're waiting for it.
Why don't you want to laugh, boy?
Huh?
I said, why don't you want to laugh?
What's it to you?
Well, I couldn't help overhearing the other boy, and it seemed so strange that a boy shouldn't want to laugh.
Let me alone.
But why not talk with me? It's good to talk sometimes with someone strange to you. Now, please tell me, boy, why don't you want to laugh?
There's nothing to laugh about anymore.
Why not? The sun still laughs. The water laughs. There's jokes and games and fun. The world is full of laughter if you listen.
Not for me, it isn't.
But why?
Why? Why? 'Cause I'm blind, see? Blind.
I knew that.
Then what'd you have to bother me for?
Tell me, boy, when did it happen?
4th of July?
Independence Day, eh? It's a strange divinity that shapes our ends.
What'd you say?
It doesn't matter. But what does matter to me is what you've done with all those days since you've closed your eyes.
I sit and wait.
You wait? For what?
For nothing.
Mind if I talk to you a little longer?
Talking? What good's talking?
I know. Yes, I know. Ever since it happened, the good folks at the parsonage they've tried to cheer you up with words. The words are empty, aren't they? When you sit in darkness.
Yeah.
Yet if you listen, perhaps I can tell you words you never heard. Words that will make you want to laugh again.
Tell you I'll never laugh again.
And you think you'll never see again.
Never. They told me never.
And yet you will. You'll see more clearly than you ever saw before.
Oh, see?
Yes, but not with eyes. with heart.
I don't know what you mean.
When boys and men see with their eyes, they just see as far as their eyes can see. A little world of kites and sleds and making money. But mind and heart is far more real, far more wonderful.
But how? How can I see? It's all so terrible dark.
Now, think of a ship. A great black pirate ship. The sails are white against a sky of blue. Think of it, boy. Think hard.
Yes, I'll try.
The ship is bounding high against green waves that throw it here and there. A great black ship with sails of white. You see it, son. You must see it.
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Now, that ship that's there inside your mind is a ship I never saw in life. I read about it in a book when I was just about as old as you are now. And yet I see it. And you see it. Just from words. Yes, far better than if we saw with wide open eyes. Do you understand?
I think I do. Yes, I do.
That's fine, boy. That's fine. Now you'll have a wonderful world of books, and yet not books, but living things. You'll see them in your mind. They'll live, they'll breathe, they'll be. No, wait, boy. Why do you turn your face away?
But I'll never be able to do anything.
Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. You'll find new things to do.
But I can hardly walk. I run into things. Fall. So dark, mister.
Yes, but now that you know the darkness really isn't there, it's just a great white canvas on which to paint the pictures that the words of books and friends will bring you. And if there is no dark, why be afraid, boy? Why be afraid?
I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid.
And being unafraid, you'll try to do things, won't you, boy?
Yes, I will.
Yes, I know you will. You'll never be afraid again, boy. You'll live with goodness and with courage, and you'll make the world a better place because of your life in it.
Will I, mister?
So now you see why you can laugh, boy. Well, you thought you'd nothing left, and yet you've got the whole world of air and sun and rain to feel. A world of all the great minds left to understand. A world of friends to love and share life with you.
Gee, I've got so much left, haven't I?
So come on, boy, laugh. Lift your face and laugh. The joke's on you. You've got the world. Laugh, I tell you, laugh. It's good to laugh, isn't it?
Yes, it's good to laugh.
Ted, you're laughing. Gee, Ted, you'll be all right now.
Yeah, I'm all right.
But why are you laughing? Why?
Him. Ask him.
Him?
Yeah. He showed me how to laugh again. He did it.
He? Ted, who are you talking about?
This man here. The one that's standing next to me.
Man?
Yes. Here, right next to me.
Gosh, Ted, there's nobody here. Nobody but that statue of Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, it was an old part in a new play for Walter Huston, who will be remembered perhaps best of all in the character of Abraham Lincoln.
There's a real reason for honoring Lincoln tonight. A double reason. This is the beginning of Thanksgiving week, and Abraham Lincoln is the father of Thanksgiving. He proclaimed Thanksgiving Day as a national holiday in 1863. But there's another reason, too, for remembering Lincoln at this time. Just 76 years ago this week, on the battlefield of Gettysburg, some great and resounding speeches were made. When they were all done, a tall and lonely man stood up and said a few words that were scarcely heard. Some men today say that he wasn't speaking to the people who stood in the battlefield at Gettysburg, but to us, the living. the Americans that live today, and to the Americans that will live always. And as long as his words remain in the hearts of men, there will be democracy and freedom. Words to remember. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
And now from 1863 back to 1939. Connie Boswell sings one of this season's hit ballads, and it's from the new Rodgers and Hart musical comedy, Too Many Girls. And it's called I Didn't Know What Time It Was.
Didn't know what time it was, then I met you. Oh, what a lovely time it was, how sublime it was too. I didn't know what day it was, you held my hand, warm like the month of May it was, and I'll say it was grand, grand to be alive, to be young, to be mad, to be yours alone. See your face, feel your touch, hear your voice say, I'm all your own. I didn't know what year it was, life was no prize. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I'm wise, and I know what what time it is now.
To be alive, to be young, to be mad, to be yours alone.
To see your face, feel the touch, hear your voice, say I'm all your own. I didn't know what year it was. Life was no prize. I wanted love, and here it was, shining out of your eyes. I'm wild, and I know what time it is now. I know what time it is
And here's Warren Hull, who has introduced many of you to Maxwell House coffee, with some very sound advice for those who have not yet discovered it.
Thanks, Eddie. Just remember, with Maxwell House, you're getting coffee that's not just days fresh, but roaster fresh. And no coffee can be fresher than that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, last week we presented a football sketch because football was in the air. Tonight our whole cast will present another one, but it won't be about football. I suppose all of you think we're not going to do a Thanksgiving Day sketch, huh? Because you've heard so many already, but you're wrong. It's entitled, Here Come the Pilgrims. 99 44% Puritan. However, it doesn't float.
Does it sink?
Now you're getting warm, Deacon. It's the year 1620. The folks have just got off the Mayflower, and they're milling around on the edge of the American continent.
Well, here we are at last. We're here.
Yes, indeed, we're really here.
By this time, folks, you know they're here. Now get on with the story.
Daddy! What is it, Snooks?
What's that big thing over there sticking out of the water?
That's Plymouth Rock.
I want it.
You can't have it.
Why?
That pesky kid will be the death of us yet. Yesterday I caught her boring holes in the Mayflower.
I want that rock.
I'll give it to you later.
Say, do any of you pilgrims know where we are?
This is Massachusetts, brother.
What?
Massachusetts.
Gesundheit.
Hey, Daddy, look it.
Oh, leave me alone. Go and find a pumpkin pie. It's Thanksgiving.
Look at Daddy. Look at the funny man with feathers. They're barefoot all over.
Good heavens, Indians. Ah, the Indians are coming. Let's put up the collapsible fort.
Come on. Make with that fork. We'll all be scalped.
I want to play with the Indians, Daddy.
All finished, Captain Houston.
Ah, we're safe. Those savages will never penetrate this Sears Roebuck fort.
Wait a minute, Captain. What if the Indians blockade the stockade?
Jeepers, I never thought of that.
We already have a shortage of food.
Yes, and there's a shortage of water.
Are all the women safe?
Yep, I'm here.
Holy smoke, we're short a woman, too.
Hey, Captain. Look out. Here comes the lookout. Warren Hull, the peephole's choice. I'm supposed to be an Indian, but I couldn't resist it. So long.
The Indians have kidnapped Mr. Stafford's little daughter, Snooks.
Oh, no. We must rescue the child. I'll call for volunteers.
I'll go.
I'll go, too. How about you, Daddy?
I can't understand how Northwestern could lose last Saturday.
Inhuman beast. You won't help rescue your own daughter? Have you no pity?
Only for the Indians. Wait till they've had her for half an hour.
Where's the lookout?
Here.
Here, take a peep, Hull, and tell the people what's in the peephole. Make it snappy, Jack.
I'm peeping, Tom.
Tell us the worst, lookout.
The Indians are coming back, and they're bringing Snooks with them.
That's the worst.
They're waving a flag of truce.
Stafford, you go out there and make a parley.
Okay, Captain. Peace at any price. Open the door carefully, but as soon as I'm outside, shut it quick.
collapsible fort.
It's collapsed. Shh. Let's listen to the parley.
Hello, Daddy. Look what I brought you. A big fat Indian.
Why, Snooks. Snooks, let go of that Indian's feathers. He'll scalp you.
No, he won't. He likes me.
Well, I don't know how to talk to this muzzler. What's new, Tonto?
Name, Daddy.
Oh, excuse me. Do you know his name, Snooks?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Well, what is it?
I don't know.
He's trying to say something, Snooks. What on mine, Chief? We want only peace. How?
Why? Huh?
Tonk.
Ah.
Oh, don't argue with him, Snooks. Now, listen, brother, we only came here to start a little subdivision, make a few dollars. Why don't you call off the tribe? We'll all celebrate Thanksgiving.
Oh, Clay, me very friendly.
He's got a turkey, Daddy.
Oh, you have?
Sure, I got turkey. You want him celebrate?
Sure.
You better hurry up or he'll be doing Greek next.
Snooks, we made peace with the Indians, and we're going to have a turkey dinner. Call everybody together.
All right. Come on, get your turkey. Sit down, everybody. Oh, good night.
All right, now, everybody squat down Indian fashion. In honor of Chief Tonto, we're going to divide the turkey in the traditional manner of the Blackfeet tribe.
Give me the Blackfoot, Daddy.
No. The turkey's to be divided according to where the people come from.
Oh, good.
Captain Huston, where are you from?
I'm from the north.
The north? You get the neck. Mr. Hull?
I'm a Westerner.
All right, sir, so you get the west wing. I'm from the east, so I'll take the east wing. Connie, where are you from?
I'm from the South, and I don't like turkey.
Oh, big kill 'em all, paleface. Oh!
Connie, you insulted him. He'll have us all scalped.
Yes, he's mad at Connie.
No, he ain't.
Snooks, did you have anything to do with this?
Uh-huh.
What did you do?
I gave the Blackfoot the hot foot.
What a Thanksgiving.
9 weeks ago, when Meredith Wilson began the present concert hall series, he hoped that American composers were capable of writing the kind of beautiful music that men of all nations would remember and love always. Now Meredith believes more than ever that they can. The music of 4 fine American composers, all of them men, has been acclaimed with great enthusiasm in the past 4 weeks. Tonight's composer is a woman, the celebrated Dana Suisse, whose American Nocturne, written especially for this series, will now be given its world premiere. All right, Meredith. Miss Dana Suisse's American Nocturne. That was beautiful, Meredith. All of us here at the concert hall join in sending our compliments to Miss Dana Suisse for her American Nocturne. Next week, Meredith will introduce the sixth of our new American compositions, A Song Without Words by Vernon Duke. And now Meredith Wilson has another commission to make for the concert hall series, an American barcarolle. Whom have you selected to write it, Meredith?
Everyone knows him, Eddie. Among many other things, he's famous for this beautiful composition. Of course, it's Harry Warren, one of our best-loved and finest popular composers. I hereby commission you, Harry Warren, to write an American barcarolle to be introduced on Good News soon. Good luck to you, Harry, and we all know you'll do a fine job.
I don't like to be too optimistic, ladies and gentlemen, but next week looks like a very fine program. In addition to Fanny Brice, his Baby Snooks, and her daddy, Hanley Stafford, Connie Boswell, Meredith Wilson, and his orchestra, we have as our special guest one of my favorite comedians, Lou Holtz. And, of course, I'll be tagging along, too. So this is Edward Arnold, hoping to see you again next week, and bidding you now good night.
This is Warren Hull reminding you that the easy-to-follow directions for making Maxwell House coffee are printed right on the can. By following them, you're sure to get the full flavor and goodness of Maxwell House in the most economical way. And now, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, the coffee that's now, more than ever, good to the last drop.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Music, comedy, drama, and even the upbeat, the American Nocturne classic. That's all in the Good News of 1930, the hour-long show from 84 years ago today, November 23rd, 1939. Coming up next, another American classic, The Aldrich Family. This from the last season of the series, from 71 years ago today, November 21st, 1952, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues, following these words.
Americans have always been noted for their know-how, and you young men in search of a career, you can put this practical talent to excellent use in one of our nation's many engineering schools. At the present time, we need engineers. We need them to maintain our scientific and engineering superiority. So look to your future, to America's future. Plan now to become an engineer.
Now to the last season of The Aldrich Family on NBC. This episode from 71 years ago today, November 23rd, 1952. And the show itself was not a Thanksgiving turkey, but it's about a Thanksgiving turkey.
Henry Aldrich! Coming, Mother?
Yes, it's The Aldrich Family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. "117 Elm Street in Centerville is a house like many other houses, and it might be a very solemn and staid place if there weren't a boy in it. And when that boy is a typical teenager like Henry Aldrich, well, it's a place where unexpected things are always happening. The scene opens in one of Centerville's grocery stores. The time is afternoon.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Mother. This is Henry.
Who?
Henry Aldrich, your son.
Oh, is everything all right, dear? Are you all through at the store?
Practically. I just wanted to tell you, though, they're all out of mincemeat, and I've been to 2 other stores.
What's that? They don't have any mincemeat at all?
No. Mr. Preston said people shouldn't let their shopping go till the day before Thanksgiving. He said that...
Dear, I don't care what he said. It's going to be a blow to your father. But I guess he'll have to be satisfied with pumpkin pie.
I know, but they don't have any pumpkins either.
Don't they have any canned pumpkin?
Oh, canned pumpkin?
And, Henry, have you picked up the turkey?
No, not yet. I haven't been over to that side of the store.
Well, dear, you go over there just as soon as you hang up and tell Mr. McGill you want the turkey I ordered 3 weeks ago.
Yes, Mother. Only how about sage?
What about it?
Hey, Henry. What do you want, Homer?
When you get through with that phone, I want it.
What's that, Henry?
Mother, I said, what shall I do about sage? They're all out of it.
Henry, they can't be.
Mr. Preston said it's account of the late shopping.
Well, dear, you ask Mr. Preston whether he can't fix up Mrs. Aldrich with just a little sage for her Thanksgiving dinner. I'm sure he has some put away somewhere.
Listen, Henry, when can I use that phone?
Gee whiz, Homer, can't you see I'm talking to my mother?
What's that, Henry?
Nothing, Mother. I'm just talking to Homer.
Henry, you aren't fooling around down there with Homer, are you?
What's that?
It sounds to me like you haven't done any of the shopping I sent you to do.
Well, I'm doing the best I can, Mother. Gee whiz, all I've got is 2 pair of hands.
Listen, Henry, I've got to use that phone.
Well, please hurry, dear, and don't waste any time with Homer.
But, Mother.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Boy, Henry, it's about time.
Gee whiz, Homer, you have to push the guy right out of the booth?
Don't speak to me. Don't say a word. I'm trying to remember 5 different things to tell my mother.
Gee, I gotta get some sage.
Number, please.
Squash, chestnut, cinnamon.
Number, please.
Cinnamon. Operator, just make it plain 232 without the cinnamon.
May I have your number, please?
I told you, 232, Elm.
Elm 232.
Gee whiz, now I've forgotten our whole Thanksgiving dinner. Squash, chestnuts, cinnamon. Oh, boy. Squash, chestnuts, cinnamon.
Hello?
Yeah, listen, Mother, what came after cinnamon?
What's that? Who did you want?
Isn't this my mother?
Well, yes, Homer, it is. Have you got everything for our dinner?
Well, the only thing on your list that they've got is breadcrumbs and cleaning powder.
Well, did you get them?
Well, yes, but it isn't much of a Thanksgiving dinner.
What's that?
Oh, boy, cranberries.
What?
I just happen to remember cranberries. That's what came after cinnamon.
Well, what about them?
I can't get any.
Oh, now, Homer, they must have at least a few cranberries.
No, they haven't. Henry Aldrich got the last half-pound.
What's that? Oh, Homer, you aren't wasting your afternoon with Henry Aldrich, are you?
No. Only gee whiz, he bought the last cranberries.
Well, dear, I don't see how he can have turkey without cranberries.
Well, you don't have to worry, Mother. I've got something even better.
Oh, that's good. What'd you get?
Ketchup.
Ketchup? To go with turkey?
Oh, well, I like it on anything. And so does Father.
I know, dear.
And it's red. If you pour it on corn kernels, it looks just like cranberries.
Oh, Homer, did you tell Mr. McGill you want our turkey?
Well, that's another thing. There's only one.
Well, one is all we want.
No, I mean one turkey for everybody. And Mr. McGill isn't sure, but he's pretty sure Mrs. Aldrich reserved that.
Now, dear, Mrs. Aldrich didn't reserve that turkey any more than I did. I asked Mr. McGill to put it aside for me weeks ago.
You did?
Yes, now run right over and tell him.
Hey, Homer, I gotta use that phone again.
Well, just a minute, Henry.
Homer, is Henry Aldrich there?
Well, yes, Mother.
Well, he hasn't got hold of that turkey, has he?
Just a minute. Henry, what's in that big bag there?
Squash. Now, hurry up, Homer.
Mother, it's all right. It's squash.
Oh, Homer, did you get any squash?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. They don't have the kind you wanted. Look, shall I get the kind Henry got?
Dear, get any kind, just so long as your father has a good squash when he sits down with his turkey.
Okay.
Hey, Homer, will you let me have that phone?
Okay, here.
Well, thanks. Hello?
Hello?
Listen, Homer, why are you handing me your mother?
Well, hang her up.
What?
Goodbye, Mother.
Boy, will I be glad when Thanksgiving is over.
Homer, will you please get your oranges and flour and stuff out of this booth?
I'm getting them out, Henry. Listen, where did you get that squash?
There aren't any more.
There aren't? Henry, I'm getting sick of you taking the last everything in this place.
Homer, you gotta keep your eyes open around here.
Number, please.
Elm 303.
Elm 303.
Just a minute there, Aldrich.
What's that?
What do you got there in your hand?
Can of pumpkin. It was the last one on the counter.
I'll say it was. I've been looking all over for it.
For this?
That's part of Mrs. Bartlett's order. Now give it to me.
Well, gee whiz.
Hello?
Hello, Mother. What do you think just happened?
Dear, what is it you want now?
Well, I was going to ask whether 1 can of pumpkin would be enough.
Well, I guess I could make a pie with 1 can.
But Mother, they just took it away from me.
What?
The man said Mrs. Bartlett saw it first.
Dear, do you realize tomorrow is Thanksgiving? It sounds to me as though you aren't even trying.
Mother, you'll be glad to hear I got a lot of parsley.
Parsley?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much of a demand for that. I took 6 pounds.
Henry, do you have our turkey?
Oh, yeah, gee whiz.
You say you have it?
No. I'm glad you reminded me.
Well, you hurry right over to Mr. McGill and ask him for it.
Yes, Mother, I'll go right away.
Goodbye.
Hey, buddy.
Yes, sir? Did you want me?
When you took that can of pumpkin, did you pick up a can of cinnamon, too?
Cinnamon? No, sir, I haven't even seen any cinnamon.
Well, somebody took a can of cinnamon right out of Mrs. Bartlett's order.
Hey, Homer.
What, Henry?
Is Mr. McGill here at the meat counter?
Yeah, he's in the back room wrapping... he's wrapping something up for me.
Okay, I'll wait for him.
Well, he may be in there for quite a while, Henry. Why waste time? Why don't you go over to the other side of the store and do some more shopping?
Well, I finally got all mine done, except for one thing.
You sure? Why don't you go over and get some cinnamon?
They don't have any.
Well, sure they have. I just got a can.
All I have to buy is something right here from Mr. McGill.
Oh, you do?
Sure. Hey, Homer, before I forget, have you got your composition written for English?
Well, gee whiz, we don't have to have it ready until Monday.
Well, I know, but I'm going to do mine tonight. Then I'll have a free mind for the whole weekend. Gee whiz, what's keeping Mr. McGill? I'm going to go back there and look for him.
Now, wait a minute, Henry, wait.
What for?
Well, the composition is supposed to be about, what you did on Thanksgiving Day.
I know.
Well, how are you going to write about what you did on Thanksgiving Day on the day before it?
All I'm going to do, Homer, is eat. I'm going to eat turkey at noon, and then in the evening I'm going to have cold turkey, and just before I go to bed I'm going to have some more turkey.
Oh, well, that's nice. Sounds like an interesting composition.
Now then, Homer, here you are. A very nice 18-pound...
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Thank you very much.
It's the last one...
So long, Henry.
Homer, you haven't told me what you're going to do on Thanksgiving Day. Homer? Gee whiz, is he in a hurry?
Now then, young man, what can I do for you?
Henry, didn't you explain to Mr. McGill that he promised me a turkey?
Well, sure, Mother, and he said that he could definitely promise you one.
When?
The day after tomorrow.
Henry, I need a turkey for Thanksgiving, not the day after. When Homer took that turkey, did you tell him he was really taking our Thanksgiving dinner?
Mother, I didn't have a chance to. He just grabbed it from right under my nose and ran.
And Mr. McGill said Homer told him we didn't want the turkey?
Well, Mr. McGill said Homer didn't actually say it. He just implied that we didn't.
Very well. Henry, here's what I want you to do. You're to go over to the Browns and tell Homer's mother exactly what happened.
And demand the turkey?
You don't have to demand it, dear. If you just explain things, I'm sure Mrs. Brown will be only too glad to give it to you.
She will?
Yes, dear. Now start right away.
Yes, Mother.
And hurry right back with it.
Yes, Mother.
Alice,
Yes, Sam?
where did you just send Henry?
Over to the Browns, dear, to get that turkey.
Now, wait a minute, Alice.
Dear, I'm sorry. It isn't theirs, it's ours. And we have guests coming.
But, Alice, the Browns are old friends of ours. You can't do a thing like that to them. Not at Thanksgiving. And besides, in all fairness, they have an equal right to that turkey. Now, the sensible thing to do is...
Whom are you calling?
Number, please.
Elm 391.
Elm 391.
Sam, you aren't inviting anyone else for dinner, are you?
No, Alice, I'm calling the market.
Dear, believe me, they don't have any more turkeys down there.
Very well. We'll get something else.
Old Hill Market, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon. This is Mr. Aldrich.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'd like to place an order with you.
All right, Mr. Aldrich.
Now then, I'd like a couple of real nice roasters.
What's that?
Roasting chickens, say 5 or 6 pounds each.
But, Mr. Aldrich, where am I going to get them?
What's that?
There isn't a chicken left in the place.
Oh. Well, then you'd better make it a couple of good-sized ducks. Personally, I like duck just as well as turkey.
No ducks, Mr. Aldrich.
No ducks. Now, wait a minute. You must have something. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
I know, Mr. Aldrich, but it seems like everybody waited till the last minute to do their shopping. My wife and I are having salmon.
We're having company for dinner.
I'll tell you what I can do, Mr. Aldrich. How would you like me to cut up a nice oxtail for you?
Oxtail? What for?
For Thanksgiving. It isn't the same as chicken, but it makes a dandy stew and very nourishing.
Yeah, well, just skip the whole thing.
Now, will there be anything else, Mr. Aldrich?
No, thank you. I guess you've got everything. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Alice.
Which did you get, Sam, chickens or ducks?
I've been thinking it over, Alice, and it seems to me you have a perfect right to demand that turkey from the Browns.
And, dear, that's exactly what I told Henry to do.
Good. But when Henry comes back with it, the thing to do is to call the Browns and insist that they come over here and have Thanksgiving with us.
But, Sam, that turkey isn't large enough for all of their guests and our guests, too.
Oh. Well, that's too bad. I hate to see the Browns go without... Yeah, I'll answer.
Well, of course, if we serve plenty of muffins and yams, we might be able to stretch it.
Hello?
Is this you, Father?
Yes, Henry, where are you?
I'm downtown.
Well, hurry on home. Don't dawdle with that turkey.
Father, I'm dawdling without the turkey.
What?
They wouldn't give it to me. Mr. Brown said they bought and paid for the turkey, and that's all there was to it.
Oh, he did.
Father, isn't there any other place to get a turkey?
I'm not interested in any other turkey. We're going to have that one the Browns have, and we're going to eat it tomorrow. Alone. They're not invited.
You want me to go back and tell them?
No, I'll take care of it.
Father, I'm going to go back to see Homer anyhow.
Never mind that, Henry. You come right home.
But Father...
Henry?
Yes, sir, I'll be right there.
Alice.
Yes, Sam, what's the matter?
I have tried to be patient. I have tried to be considerate. Now I am going to do something.
What?
Here, Alice, take this phone. I want you to call the Browns and demand our turkey.
Is that what she said, Elizabeth?
Yes, Will. Why, in all the years I've known Alice Aldrich, I've never heard her talk that way to anyone.
All right. If they want to make an issue of the turkey, it's all right with me.
Mother, I'll be back in a little while.
Homer, where are you going?
Just over to Henry's. It isn't so late, Mother.
Homer, let's get this straight. You're not to have anything to do with Henry Aldrich.
Not ever?
Not until we've eaten that turkey. And if he wants to speak to you, that's his loss.
Yeah, but look, I've got to write a composition, and I need a little advice about Thanksgiving.
Well, you won't get it over there. I don't think the Aldriches are celebrating Thanksgiving this year.
Well, can't one of you answer that phone?
Now, Elizabeth, don't touch it. It's probably Sam Aldrich calling to pick a fight with me about that turkey.
Well, now, Will, the least you can do is talk to him. Even if he loses his temper, you don't have to lose yours.
Elizabeth, I'm just going to sit here absolutely calm.
Father, would you be willing to help me with my composition?
What's your problem?
Well, I have to compare what the Pilgrims did on their first Thanksgiving with what I did tomorrow.
Well, for one thing, you can point at what you did tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
What did you do tomorrow?
What's that?
Homer, what are we talking about?
Well, I think you should at least go to the phone and tell Sam you're not going to give him that turkey.
He'll find out soon enough, Elizabeth. He'll find out. He's found out already.
Well...
What's that?
It's the front door. And I'm not going to sit here and just hear bells ringing.
I'll go to the door. I'm willing to do that.
Let me know who it is.
The same here, Father.
Hello there, Will.
Well, Sam Aldrich. Aren't you, won't you come in?
No, thanks, Will.
Mr. Brown, is Homer here?
Now, Henry, you stay right here on the steps where you are. Don't bother the Browns.
Oh, Henry's no bother. Is there something I can do for you, Sam?
Will, I don't know what this is all about, but I take it that Alice lost her temper when she phoned your wife a few minutes ago. Just between ourselves, Will, women have a tendency to exaggerate the importance of things.
You're right, Sam. I tried to reason with Elizabeth. I'm afraid she went a little overboard herself.
When you get right down to it, there isn't any turkey in the world worth sacrificing our friendship over.
No, of course not.
And Alice will be the first to admit the same thing.
That's just the way Elizabeth feels.
So, I just wanted to tell you to enjoy the turkey and have a fine Thanksgiving.
Now, wait a second, Sam. The fact is, I was just going to start for your house with that turkey.
Oh, no, Will, no. Just forget the whole thing.
No, Sam, I mean it. You wait right there.
Gee whiz, Father, is Mr. Brown really going to give us the turkey?
Henry, if he brings the turkey out here, we're not going to take it.
Why not?
Don't you think I have any pride? I never got down on my knees for a turkey before. And
Here you are, Sam. It's all wrapped and everything.
Oh, no, Will. No, Will.
Where are you going with that turkey?
Be quiet, Elizabeth. Here, Sam.
Oh, no. I wouldn't think of it. You keep it and have a nice dinner tomorrow.
Now, Sam, there's no use in your going down those steps without this. Here, Henry, you take it.
Shall I, Father?
No. Henry, come along.
Sam.
No use following us, Will. It's your turkey.
No, Sam, it's yours. I'm putting it right here on the front walk.
All right, Will. If you want to leave it there, it's all right with me.
There it is on the sidewalk, Sam. I'm going back in the house.
And Henry and I are going down the street.
Father, hey, Father.
What's the matter?
Look at those 3 dogs coming.
What's that?
Hey, get away from there. Stat!
Gee whiz, look. One of them took it.
What's that? He took it.
Come back here.
Well, Will, that was certainly a foolish thing for you to do.
What do you mean, for me to do? What did you leave it there for?
I left it. You put it down there yourself.
Well, why didn't you pick it up?
Why should I? It's your turkey, Will. If you want it, you go get it. Come on, Henry. We've got other things to do.
But gee whiz, Father.
Well, of all...
What's the matter, Father?
Come on, Homer. We've got to chase a dog.
A dog, Father? For Thanksgiving?
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's one sure bet that tonight's Phil Harris Alice Faye show will deliver a full half hour's worth of family comedy. And right after the Harris Faye show on most of these NBC stations, Theater Guild on the Air will bring you Basil Rathbone, Alan Webb, and Margaret Phillips in the radio version of the Broadway hit The Winslow Boy. And then there's adventure with a pair of NBC programs as Jack Webb stars in this week's Dragnet story from the files of the Los Angeles Police Force, while William Gargan will be on hand in the title role of Barry Craig, confidential investigator. So stay tuned to this NBC station and listen for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, Theater Guild on the Air, Dragnet, and Barry Craig, confidential investigator. Now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. The Browns had somehow got a turkey from the meat market that had been reserved for Mrs. Aldrich. And then while Mr. Aldrich and Mr. Brown were each trying to outdo the other with politeness over the bird, a stray dog ran off with it. The scene opens in the basement of the Elm Street Church. The time is that same evening.
Step right in, folks. Step right in. The auction's going to begin shortly.
Hello there, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, hello, Mr. Aldrich. Hi, Henry.
Hello. Has the bidding started yet?
No, we'll be starting pretty soon.
Pretty nice turkey.
Nicest bird you ever saw. 25-pounder.
Come on, Henry.
Step right in, folks. The auction will begin shortly.
Gee, Father, I just happened to remember something. You know that darn dog that stole our turkey?
Mr. Brown's turkey.
Yes, sir. Well, I think his name is Dodo, and he belongs to that family that lives down on the corner of Main and Elm.
Where?
You know, where the fence is broken down.
Oh, yeah. That's the family Will Brown's always complaining about.
They got about 15 children.
Yeah, and 2 dogs for every child.
Pardon me, Mr. Aldrich. I want to get right up here in front.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Brice.
Well, now, folks. Folks, we're auctioning off just one turkey tonight, but it sure is a beauty. They say it's a direct descendant of the first turkey the Pilgrims ate.
Oh, hey. Hello there, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, hello, Will Brown. Hi, Homer.
Hi. We aren't late, are we? You haven't sold a turkey yet, have you?
No, sir, but we're going to start right away.
Come on, Homer. Let's get over here to one side.
Boy, am I tired.
Does this tear in my pants show?
What tear?
When that dog tripped me.
Well, it doesn't show too much if you don't bend down.
Homer, why couldn't you have remembered this auction before I tried to climb that fence?
All right, friends, here she is. It's all for charity, a worthy cause. Bid freely and generously. You may be sure good use will be made of the money. Now, what am I offered for this beautiful turkey?
$15.
15 on bid. That's an insult to this beautiful bird. I wouldn't be surprised to see her get up and walk off in a huff. Who'll make it 18? 20 I have. Why, the drumsticks are worth that.
25.
Now it's 25. Now it's 25.
30.
Now it's 30. Now we're going. I have 30 bid.
Father, aren't you going to bid?
$30.50.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown. I'm only taking dollar bids on this. It's all for charity.
All right, then. Make it 31.
31 what, Father? 31 what?
$30, I'm afraid.
31. 31 it is. Who'll make it 32?
33. I mean 32.
No, I heard you the first time, lady. 33 you made it, and thank you.
35.
35 on bid. 35.
Well, Homer, I guess that lets us out.
35 I have from Mr. Aldrich. Who'll make it 40?
Homer, did he say Aldrich?
Well, gee whiz.
Who'll make it 40?
45.
45 on bid. 45.
That'll show Sam Aldrich.
45, Mr.
50.
55.
Gee whiz, Father.
Keep quiet, Homer.
55 on bid. 55. Who'll make it 60?
60.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brown. You raised your own bid. Thank you.
I did?
65.
65.
67.
70.
70 I have. 70 for charity. 70 once. 70 twice.
Father, suppose Mother hears about this.
70 twice. Do I hear more?
What did he say, Homer? I don't want to make another mistake.
Do I hear more?
Father, I'd like to
Now listen, Homer, for the last time, be quiet.
Sold for $70 to Samuel Aldrich.
To who? That's a fine thing. And, Homer, it's all your fault.
Mine?
Well, how are you, Will?
How are you, Sam?
Mr. Aldrich, if you'll step up here and pay your $70.
All right, I'll be happy to.
Bye, Homer.
Bye, Henry.
Mr. Aldrich, I want you to know this turkey is going to be wrapped and sent to one of the most deserving families in town.
What's that?
And presented, of course, with the compliments of the whole Aldrich family.
Oh, boy.
here, Dodo. Come here, Dodo. Nice doggy, Dodo.
Won't he give you the turkey, Papa? Dodo, give Papa the turkey.
Junior, keep away. Do you want to frighten him? Here, Dodo. Give me that turkey. That's a nasty turkey, Dodo. You won't like it.
Papa, where do you suppose he got it?
Natalie, will you stand back and all the rest of you keep back?
All right, stand back, everybody, and let Papa get the turkey.
Now, Dodo, for the last time, I want that turkey. We need that turkey. We haven't had a turkey dinner in this house in years.
Daddy got it! Gee whiz, we got a turkey!
Look at it, look at it.
Where do you suppose Dodo found that turkey, Papa?
Well, I don't believe in looking a gift dog in the mouth. Besides, Dodo knows a lot of people in this town. Is that the front door?
Yes, Papa.
It is? Now, look, Junior, take this turkey and go into the kitchen with it.
All right. It's our turkey now.
Good evening, Mr. Foley. I've got a surprise for you.
What's that, Mr. Johnson?
Here you are. It's partly from the Elm Street Church and partly from Sam Aldrich.
Well, what's this, a turkey?
A 25-pounder and all the trimmings to go with it.
Oh, Papa! Gee whiz, another turkey! Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving!
Just a minute, Alice, and I'll turn the light out.
Don't forget to open the window before you get into bed.
Mother.
Yes, Henry, come in.
Mother, I hate to bother you, but could you look over this composition for spelling?
Not tonight, dear, but leave it here. I'll go over it in the morning.
All right, and thanks.
Good night, Henry.
Good night.
Good night, dear.
You know, Alice, I've been thinking it over.
You've been thinking what over, Sam?
I don't see any reason why we should ask the Browns over for dinner tomorrow.
To be quite frank, dear, I agree with you.
I'll admit we've been good friends, but after the way Will acted today...
And I didn't like Elizabeth's attitude.
So we might just as well...
Dear, how do you spell Pocahontas?
What's that?
I guess Henry spelled it right.
Anyway, I don't see any point in having guests here for a dinner of cranberries and chestnuts.
But, dear, I told you we're also having corned beef hash.
Hash.
Of course, I know it isn't turkey, but... Sam, how do you spell Pocahontas?
Pocahontas?
There's no K in it, is there?
There may be in the original Indian spelling.
Sam, listen to this.
Listen to what?
What I Did on Thanksgiving by Henry W. Aldrich.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Yes, dear, but stop interrupting. This year, the same as last year, we did the same old stuff that we did every other year. To begin with, our dinner consisted of turkey. Only he scratched that out and wrote chicken.
Yeah? And where does he think he's going to eat chicken?
Then he scratched that out and just left it blank.
Oh.
After we finished this hearty meal, we felt very stuffed and all sat around and talked about the price of things and the weather and business and stuff like that. Back in the old days, however, it was much more interesting. Then there wasn't much food for anybody, and the Pilgrims had to shoot turkeys just like Indians. Pocahontas was one Indian, for example, but she was a good Indian. Mincemeat in those days, they didn't have at that time, nor things like sage, because no more ships came in that year. When you once got some food, you had to hang on to it for dear life, because almost anybody might steal it, usually a wolf. There were no stores to buy things, so if a wolf took your turkey and stuff, you were out of luck.
Let me see that arm. But it was because of all this that the Pilgrim Fathers, from whom we are all sprung, celebrated their first Thanksgiving and bowed their heads when they sat down over what was in many cases just plain cornmeal mush, which is something that even my mother has never gotten me to like as much as I admire the Pilgrims for the other things they did. But even cornmeal mush is all right, I guess, as long as they had neighbors to share it. Because, as my father says, when it comes to Thanksgiving, it's the spirit and not the stuffing that counts.
Your father, Homer's on the phone. His folks say if we could bring over a few eggs, they have some cornmeal to make cornmeal muffins, and Won't we come over for dinner tomorrow?
What do you mean, won't we come over? You tell them to pack up their cornmeal and come over here.
I can ask them.
Yes, dear. And tell Mrs. Brown if she has any cinnamon to please bring it. I'm going to make applesauce.
Fight communism by joining the Crusade for Freedom, the independent movement of the American people which supports Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. These two networks are shattering the isolation which the Kremlin has imposed on its slave states. As a private enterprise, they can hit hard and expose the falseness of the communist line. They can spike the hate and lie campaign of the Soviets against the free world. So, help build more transmitters for Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. Send your contribution to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
Dinner.
Not for another hour or so, dear.
Well, look, Mr. Foley's dog, Dodo, is out in the front yard.
Yes, Henry?
And Homer and I are going to take him and do a little hunting.
Hunting, dear?
Just around the neighborhood and see what we can dig up.
The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Catherine Roth. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Good night, everybody.
Thanksgiving. The Aldrich Family, November 23rd, 1952, 71 years ago, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear from the couple next door in just a moment, but first, these words.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your Civil Defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
I really enjoy this series, The Couple Next Door, Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce, who starred on radio in the private lives of Ethel and Albert, and Peg Lynch later on did a series called The Little Things in Life. And her daughter still maintains a website for her late mom at peglynch.com, and you can learn about the life and times of this amazing writer, who also was a very funny lady. The Couple Next Door. This episode, originally broadcast on CBS November 23rd, 1960, 63 years ago today.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Here's star George Brent.
Cold and sinus trouble can ruin an actor's performance. To feel better fast, I take the newest medicine for those miseries. New improved 4-way cold tablets.
Today's 4-way contains a decongestant to drain sinus congestion while it relieves cold distress. Test-proof 4-way acts faster than any other leading cold or sinus tablets to relieve muscular pains, reduce fever, relieve headache without upsetting stomach. Drain sinus congestion, too. Get new 4-way cold tablets, 39 cents.
Hello? I want to speak to Mr. Piper, please. Well, conference or no conference, Miss Brown, he'll have to be interrupted. Here it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We have 25 relatives coming tomorrow for Thanksgiving dinner and no turkey. Yes, I'll hold on. Thank you. Oh, really?
Well, it's a good thing I happened to ask about the turkey. That's all I can say.
I never gave it a thought, Aunt Effie, because he said to me a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, don't worry about the turkey. It's being delivered the day before Thanksgiving. Said he'd call the turkey farm.
Well, maybe it'll still be delivered then. The day isn't over. And I expect this is a busy day for a turkey farm. And you said the turkey was all paid for.
Yes, he won it in the office raffle. I had already ordered a turkey, and I canceled the order when he said he'd won a turkey. Oh, I tell you, these raffle things. Didn't we tell you about this huge freezer I won in a raffle? Brand new, but we can't even sell it. Even though we put an ad in the paper, it sits in a warehouse. We pay storage charges, if you can imagine.
Mommy?
Don't slam the door. Oh, hello? Hello? Yes. No.
Mommy?
No turkey at all.
Don't bother your mother now, Betsy. She's talking
No.
to Daddy.
But I wanted to tell her about the
No
turkey.
turkey has been delivered. Aunt Effie and I have been here all
Yes,
day.
it is, Mommy. That's what I came in to tell you. The
Hold
man
on.
just brought it.
Did you hear that? It's been delivered. The turkey's here.
Yes, dear. It's all right. Sorry to interrupt your conference. I was getting sort of frantic. No, Betsy says the man just brought it. Yeah. Well, you know, our luck with these raffle things, I thought something has gone wrong. All right, dear. Goodbye. Oh, well, nice to know 25 people will have something to eat. Yes.
Gee, do we have to eat him? He's so cute. His eyes blink and he gobbles. I can see him through the bars of the crate.
He gobbles?
You mean he's alive?
Yes, and he's just darling.
There is no sense going on about it. I most certainly did not tell them to deliver a live turkey.
Well, they said you did.
Never. Why in Sam Hill would I order a live turkey?
Well, they said you did.
Who's they? Who's this they that said I ordered a live turkey?
The people at the turkey farm.
Well, who? Who'd you talk to?
I don't know who. 3 or 4 people who couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear them. The place was so noisy, and nobody knew anything about it anyway, and they hung up on me, and I called back. Well, the line was busy. I kept calling, and finally they answered. I went through the whole thing again about how they delivered us a live turkey, and this dumb girl, you're the dumbest girl I've ever seen. She said, well, what about it? I said, what about it? We don't want a live turkey.
All right, then now calm down. Calm down.
Calm down. We have 25 of your relatives and mine coming for dinner
All
tomorrow.
right, look, I'll call the turkey farm. We'll have this one picked up and replaced with one that's been killed and dressed. So stop worrying.
The girl finally looked up the order after I spelled our name and our address to her for the 5th time. And the order for Piper, 13, Rainbow Lake, said don't kill, deliver Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
But that is ridiculous, I tell you. I called them when I won the turkey in the raffle. You know, that was 2 weeks ago. And the girl I talked to said they'd send it right out. Well, I said, no, we didn't want it then.
Yeah?
I may have said, don't kill it now, to deliver it to Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Oh, for the love of Mike, I'll call them now.
Well, it's no use. They're sold out, and the men are out delivering the turkeys now.
Why would anybody order a live turkey? I mean, it's unbelievable that people who handle turkeys, that's their business, would deliver a live...
Well, I asked her that. Apparently, they have customers who order them live. Restaurants sometimes who keep them a few days and want them freshly killed, especially on long holiday weekends.
But we are not a restaurant.
Well, all I can say is it's the last time we're ever going to buy a raffle ticket. If we do win something, it just boomerangs into trouble.
Yeah. Remember the time Bill Paulson sent us a live turkey for a joke?
Yes, but we sent it back.
Oh.
Which we can't send back, or we'll have no turkey at all. So, I'll leave it to you, I guess, to be the Lord High Executioner.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Well, if you want to wait, Aunt Effie drove down to the shopping center to get Alvin. Now, he wanted to do some shopping. They live on a farm. Alvin has all his life here. He's, more used to this sort of thing.
No, Pete's sake. I guess I can kill a turkey.
Oh, look at him.
Now, don't start that.
Well, you said kill him, and that's when he gobbled, just as though he knew.
You certainly make me feel great. I don't relish this,
How will you do it, dear?
Do it? With an axe, I guess. Chop off his head.
Oh, honey, don't even talk like that.
Well, for Pete's sakes, what do you suggest?
Well, I don't know. There must be some more humane way than that. Could you chloroform him?
Who ever heard of chloroforming a turkey?
Well, I don't want to hear any more talk of chopping his head off. It just seems so mean, dear. Look at him. Hello. Oh, I can't even look him in the eye. When I realize I'm planning to stuff him with dressing and make gravy and cut up giblets, it just...
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Let me lift this crate out to the garage and get this darn thing over with.
The vet. Why don't we take him to Brownie's vet? He could just give him a shot of something that would put him painlessly out of the way.
Take him to a vet. That is all I need. A $10 veterinarian's bill for services rendered my Thanksgiving turkey.
Well, still, it would be painless, dear.
Look, it just takes 1 second to chop off his head, and that's painless, too. Well, look, I better get something to pry open this crate. Get out of the way, will you, honey? I'm going to get into this bottom drawer here. My little crowbar's in here, and
How do you know?
Because I put it in there.
No, I mean, how do you know it's painless to have your head cut off?
Oh, now listen, will you?
I read something recently that said when Charlotte Corday was beheaded by the guillotine, some observers swore that when the head was severed and fell, the eyes opened, and she said, "I am innocent." Only, of course, she said it in French. But some claim that it proves something.
Yes. Well, if I chop off this turkey's head and he opens his eyes and says, "I am innocent," I agree. It will prove something. Especially if he says it in French.
Look, I know you think I'm squeamish about this, dear,
if it'll make you feel any better, I'll get my gun and shoot him.
Shoot him? When he's in the crate?
Well, if I take him out, he'll get loose, and my marksmanship is not what I
Well, it certainly doesn't seem very sporting to shoot him while he's in the crate. He wouldn't have a chance.
He's not supposed to have a chance. We're having him for dinner.
Besides, isn't it against the law to shoot off a gun in town? Yes, it is. You can shoot people, but I don't think you can shoot birds, and a turkey is a bird.
It has always been my impression that it was against the law to shoot people, in or out of town.
You know what I mean. Intruders, burglars, while defending your home. What are you doing?
And I'm just loosening the crate a little here so it opens easily when I get outside. You know, it's cold out. I don't want to...
I know. That's why we brought the turkey into the kitchen. Aunt Effie said the poor little thing could get pneumonia. She did.
Would you please just go into the living room and get out of the way and let me handle this? In fact, keep an eye on the children so they don't realize... By the way, where are Betsy and Bobby?
Upstairs in Betsy's room. I gave her a dime to build him a road of blocks for his little cars and watch him until dinner tonight, which I haven't even started, and all the excitement. Well, I'll go see how they're doing.
All right, well, don't let them come downstairs. They might look into the garage or something.
Yeah, all right, dear, all right. You just take... Betsy! You children getting along all right up there? Betsy?
We're not upstairs, Mommy. We're here in Daddy's den.
Daddy's den? What are you doing in Daddy's den, huh?
Daddy wanted me to build a big road out of blocks, and my bedroom wasn't big enough, Mommy. Look, Mommy, big bus going over the bridge.
Oh, yes, darling. Bus going over a bridge. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Yes, that is exciting. Yes, a bridge. You get these blocks picked up right after dinner, Betsy. This is Daddy's den, and you know we don't allow either of you to bring your toys in here. Oh, don't tell me he cut off one of his own fingers.
What, Mommy?
What is it, dear? Nothing. What, Bobby? What is it? Oh, grab him. Don't let him fly all over the house.
Look, it is not quite so simple. You try to grab him.
Well, how did he get out?
Oh, look, I only took one small bore. I was going to do the rest when I got outside. I just turned my back for 1 second. Whoosh, he was out, and he sailed right past my head into the dining room. Oh, golly.
Take Bobby and go upstairs.
Oh, no, Mommy. I want to watch the turkey,
Right.
please. Turkey, Mommy.
Quiet, everybody. Don't anybody move. Don't move.
He sees you. He sees you sneaking up on him. Easy. There. Grab him.
You missed him, Daddy. Oh, Daddy, are you hurt? Your lip's bleeding.
Go upstairs, Betsy, and get the first aid kit. Oh, now where did the turkey go?
We'll return to the couple next door in just a moment. In this land of plenty, we occasionally forget that millions of less fortunate people elsewhere in the world are hungry, sick, and destitute. But the three great religious faiths of our country, Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish, haven't forgotten. They conduct annual campaigns to help the needy overseas. 80% of all volunteer aid is channeled through religious organizations here. Because of the scope of this great charitable work, United States government surplus food can be distributed at low cost. For example, $1 will send more than 300 pounds of food abroad. But the money you contribute to your church or synagogue goes for more than food. It helps send clothing, bedding, and medicine, too. It goes toward the maintenance of hospitals and orphanages, to initiate and carry out self-help and resettlement projects. During this month of Thanksgiving, keep faith for those in need overseas. Give for your faith.
Well, we're going to need more boiling water if we expect to get all these pin feathers out.
Sit still, Aunt Effie. I'll heat some
No, dear, you sit right there. You've had a more exhausting day than I have. Oh, I'm sorry, but I tell you, when Alvin and I walked in the front door and saw you two leaping around the living room trying to throw a pillowcase over that turkey's head.
Well, I'll confess the humor of it escapes me at the moment. Are you using the tweezers?
No, you can have them. I never knew a turkey had so many feathers. My eyes, my back just ache. Oh, look at this kitchen. Well, we'll pick up the mess when we're all through. Why don't you put some ice on that lip, dear? You look as though you've gone 6 rounds with Joe Louis.
I put ice on it. It's puffed up anyway. At least it doesn't hurt anymore.
I'm glad Alvin killed the turkey. I tell you, when you first yelled, I had a vision of you with that axe you never use. And I thought, oh, he has lost a finger or a hand or a foot or
Look,
something.
I'm worried about that myself. I feel lucky to come out of this with just a cut lip. Whoa, boy, look at it, though.
Oh, there's a car turning in. Alvin and Betsy must be back from the movies.
Yeah, well, it's about time. You know, I really don't approve of Betsy going to the movies at night.
Neither do I, dear, but tomorrow is a holiday, and she was so upset about the turkey being killed. And I thought it would take her mind off it.
Well, Alvin just dotes on Betsy. He's crazy about children anyway.
I know. I think I better start sweeping up these feathers now. The place looks like a down quilt factory. Oh,
just roll the papers up, dear. That's why I put newspapers all over.
Yes, I know.
Look, don't let him come in this way. The wind will blow the feathers all over.
Yeah.
Betsy, don't come in.
Alvin, go around. Go around.
Betsy!
Close that door. Will you close the door?
But Uncle Alvin is still out.
Oh, yes. Oh, Alvin, don't come in this way, dear. Go around to the front door.
But it's beautiful, like it's snowing in the kitchen.
Come on, let's sweep them up.
Oh, dear.
Boy, I sometimes wonder if the Pilgrims had any idea what they started.
The Couple Next Door stars Peg Lynch and Ellen Bunce with Margaret Hamilton, Francie Myers, and Madeline Pierce, and is produced by Walter Hart and directed by Dick Stenta. This is Warren Sweeney speaking.
You gotta love it. And there's always a different way to handle it. Peg Lynch could always do wonderful things, couldn't she? Peg Lynch, Alan Bunce, The Couple Next Door, as it was broadcast on this date back in 1960, and that was 63 years ago. Coming up next, a wartime program called Thank You America, and when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues in a moment.
Do you know how old the school building in your community is? If it's over 25 years old, the chances are that it's woefully inadequate. Join with the groups in your community working for better school conditions. Remember, better schools build a stronger America.
Now a wartime broadcast from San Francisco radio station KPO. Currently it still exists as KNBR radio. And what is that at? I've got to remember. It's at 680 on the AM dial. But at the time, it was KPO, and it was owned, well, it was an NBC radio station at this point in time. An affiliate of the brand new NBC Red Network, then the NBC Radio Network. Let's listen to this wartime program in support of War Bond Day entitled Thank You America. It was originally broadcast 79 years ago today, November 23rd, 1944.
Let's Talk Turkey to Japan. Radio station KPO, in connection with NBC's War Bond Day, brings you a special program. Thank You, America. With George Mardikian, Rudy Valley, Tony Freeman, and the KPO Orchestra. Thanksgiving Day, set aside in colonial days as a day of giving thanks for the blessings of freedom. To most American youngsters, Thanksgiving has always meant Turkey Day. And today, when those same youngsters are fighting on far-flung battlefronts to preserve that freedom, how better can we show our Thanksgiving than by enlisting our dollars to talk turkey to Japan? In this program, transcribed yesterday for presentation this morning, we bring you two fellow Americans, one native-born, the other a man who dates his real birth from the year 1922, when he first beheld the Statue of Liberty after fleeing from a land oppressed and enslaved. These two friends, Rudy Valley and George Mardikian, have just come to our studios from the annual Thanksgiving dinner for war-wounded servicemen held at Omar Khayyam's restaurant here in San Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, we present a man who really knows how to talk turkey and to serve it, too. George Mardikian, world-famous chef, great humanitarian, and great American.
Who has more reasons to thank America than an Armenian who has come to this land exactly 22 years ago without the knowledge of English and without any money? Here in that 22 years' time, I have been able to accomplish something that I'm very proud of. Not because the big amount of money that I have been able to make, but the amount of friends, the kindness that I have seen that the Americans have shown to me. There is nothing in the world that has given me a greater pride than the fact that you, the people of America, have given me the right to call myself also an American. That is something that is far more than any amount of money that I have been able to make. And that is the reason that I feel that every one of us, whether born in this country or born on the other side, who call himself an American, must feel that we have reasons. We have and we must thank America for being so wonderful to us, for giving to the world a land such as ours, this beautiful country of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and telling you all about the wonderful things that this country of ours has to offer to people from every walk of life. But I'm not going to, because I have a very important and very dear friend of mine whom I want you to meet. A man who has done so much by uplifting others, giving them the opportunities that they have deserved. And that man is none other than one of the great personalities of America. He is not only a great man on the radio and a great man on the screen or stage, but he's a great person with a great heart. That man, ladies and gentlemen, is my very cherished friend, Rudy Valley, who came all the way from Hollywood to entertain our wounded boys. And I take pleasure in introducing to you my very dear friend, Rudy Valley.
George, I wish my reasons for gratitude to America were as unselfish and altruistic as yours. I'm afraid they're a little more personal. From Maine and Vermont, my youthful birthplaces and place of living, I got my good health and all the things that a boy gets in his youth. And from New York and radio in 1927, when I found radio ready for apparently the simple formula that I had to offer it, came a fame and a glory that has lasted for a great many years and for which I am deeply grateful. I'm afraid all I can say that I gave in return is at least to tickle the risibilities and the funny bones of radio listeners, to bring them maybe a bit of dramatic and music and human warmth through the air, and if I have done that, I'm deeply grateful to America for giving me the fame and fortune that have been mine.
Well, Rudy, if you only know how much joy you have given to all of America, and the joy that you gave this afternoon to over 225 of our wonderful youth, wounded boys, that was the greatest thing anybody wants to accomplish, and you have done so. I'm proud to call you my friend. Now, I tell you, Rudy, you have been an inspiration to me, and one of those inspirations has been the cause that just recently, about 2 weeks ago, I gave a donation of $10,000 to the Armenian Relief Corps. Now, this is very funny that an American citizen should give $10,000 to an Armenian organization. I'll tell you the reasons why I gave that. With the specific understanding that Armenian Relief Corps would invest that $10,000 into war bonds, because I feel that my country needs that money, and that must be used for the purchase of war bonds.
In Armenia?
In Armenia. And those war bonds will bring in at least $250 every year as an interest. And that interest should be applied as a scholarship for the best student in the college in Lebanon, the Armenian Junior College, where that boy, this is a specific understanding with the Relief Corps and myself, that boy must learn English while he's studying his work in the school. And then when he graduates with that scholarship, I will bring that boy to America with all his expenses paid, and I will stand all his expenses amounting to $1,500 a year for one pure purpose, that that man must learn Americana. He must learn our ways, how this country was built and how wonderful this land is. And after he graduates from one of our colleges here in America, he must return back where he came from. By that, I feel that he will go back to his native land, and he will tell people what a wonderful country this is to live in, and what a wonderful democracy this is to be in. And that is my objective. And that's the way I feel that someday I hope that every other person that are in my position should do their utmost to give their birthplace, students from their birthplace, to bring them to America and show them our American way and sending them back. I feel that that way we will be able to do something nice that is worthwhile. Now, Rudy, I can go on talking all the time, but will you please give me your idea? What did you think of our boys this afternoon?
It's the old tried phrase, but it's the honest one that I can use at this moment, that the boys thrilled me as I hope we pleased them. And it was a wonderful sight, something I'll never forget, George.
Well, Rudy, you were so wonderful, and it's such a great satisfaction to see those boys of ours who have given everything to enjoy themselves. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
It is my privilege, George.
For doing that. I tell you, there are so many reasons to be thankful for. And one of the most important reasons is that when I first came to America, I'll never forget the first time I read those words graven in the lasting marble on the base of the Statue of Liberty. Those words are graven in my heart. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Yes, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Words of hope to the oppressed the world over. Words expressing the spirit of America, land of freedom. Earlier in this program, my good friend George Deacon told you what those words mean to a man coming to this country from a foreign shore. He has told you what they mean to him as an American. And at the annual Thanksgiving dinner at Omar Khayyam's restaurant, I couldn't help thinking of the debt we owe to our fellow Americans who are fighting to keep that spirit of America burning. Fighting so that for all time that noble lady in stone in New York Harbor may raise her lamp beside the golden door. Someday soon, we hope our soldiers now in Europe will be sailing into that harbor. They will see the Statue of Liberty in the early morning mists. And grim fighting men though they are, there'll be many a tear on their rugged faces. But, friends, we all know that this war will not be over until every American fighting man can lay down his arms and come home. And we all know that can't. Jap soldiers defeated. The one sure way of crushing the Japs is to give our men the ships and guns, tanks and planes they must have for total victory. And that's where you come in, right now. America's 6th war loan drive is on, as if you didn't know. The war bonds you buy now will help crush the Japs, will help break the Siegfried line, will bring our fighting men home sooner. Is there anything to prevent you from buying at least one extra $100 war bond? For $75 invested, back come $100 at maturity, without the worry, the sleepless nights, the grief, the attendant miseries that attend most investments. No shrinkage. It's always there when you need it. Someday when you need it most badly. $100 back for every 75 put in. Right now, today, Turkey Day. Let's talk turkey to Japan.
Radio station KPO, in connection with NBC's War Bond Day, has brought you by transcription a special program, Thank You America, with George Mardikian, Rudy Valley, and Tony Freeman of the KPO Orchestra. Thank You America came to you from San Francisco's Radio City.
Pure patriotism and pitch for war bonds. From 79 years ago to November 23rd, 1944, Thank You America, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, the Dennis Day Show from 1954 with his boss, Jack Benny. An episode of the ABC show Point Sublime from 1947, and then we'll have an episode of Calling All Cars, the West Coast crime program, and then Dragnet from 1949, the mother-in-law murder, and Setting a Trap for Irvin, as they try to track down the lion that's gone loose and running around in Pine Ridge, Arkansas, and Lum and Abner. That'll be coming up on our Friday edition of the program. We'll wrap up this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day edition, with an episode of Mutual's The Answer Man in just a moment.
When you look over your morning mail, there's one thing you can be sure of. The bills always seem to arrive right on time. How do they do it? Ever notice that businessmen use zip code? How about you? Use zip code on all your mail and keep the good news moving fast, too. Don't tie up the mail. Use zip code.
We close out this edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox by going back to 79 years ago today, and that is November 23rd, 1944, an episode of Mutual's The Answer Man, all focusing on Thanksgiving customs and questions.
Cromer's White Label, the premium beer that is 2 ways light, presents Albert Mitchell's program, The Answer Man. The program that answers your questions just as Cromer's White Label answers America's demand for a lighter, finer, premium beer. The Answer Man is presented as a service to you, to give you the answers to your questions. And here he is, The Answer Man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a nice Thanksgiving Day. And I believe you some questions about Thanksgiving there for me to answer.
Quite a few. Let's begin with this one from a Summit, New Jersey listener. Who ate the most at the first Thanksgiving dinner?
The Indians. The Indians not only had larger appetites, but they outnumbered white men at the first Thanksgiving feast, 90 to 55.
Next, a Smithtown, Long Island man asks, are all the people of this country celebrating Thanksgiving on the same day this year?
No, not all. The people of Florida, Idaho, Nebraska, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia have to wait till next Thursday to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Why is that? Didn't President Roosevelt proclaim the 23rd as Thanksgiving Day?
Yes, and Congress passed a resolution that Thanksgiving Day should always fall on the 4th Thursday of the month. But the President and Congress don't make legal holidays. That's a state's right. And these 6 states, the legislature or governor, decided on the last Thursday, which this year is the 5th Thursday of the month.
This letter from a Brooklyn woman reads, which was the bigger holiday in Pilgrim times, Christmas or Thanksgiving? My husband says Thanksgiving, but that doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Maybe it doesn't, but your husband is right. Thanksgiving was a far more important festivity, for to many Puritans, the celebration of Christmas was idolatry, hateful idolatry.
A young man of Greenwich, Connecticut, wonders why we call a turkey, since the bird didn't come from the country Turkey.
No, but when the bird was first introduced into Europe, the name turkey was used to mean any far distant land. So it was natural for them to call it a turkey cock.
A man who lives in Garfield, New Jersey, inquires, when was Thanksgiving Day first celebrated by the whole United States?
On November 26, 1789, when, at the request of Congress, George Washington proclaimed a day of Thanksgiving for the whole nation.
A Manhattan woman wants to know if the Indians knew how to make pumpkin pie.
No, they didn't know how to make pie crust. But the Indians did have a pumpkin pudding made with maple syrup.
A Camp Upton, Long Island soldier asks, is there such a thing as a turkey with all white meat?
Yes. White turkeys produce all white, or at least light, meat.
A letter from an Ossining, New York man reads, as I remember it, the first Thanksgiving was in celebration of a bumper crop. A bumper crop the Pilgrims had harvested. Am I right? And what was the crop?
You are right. And the crop was primarily corn, barley, and peas. 20 acres of corn and 6 of barley and peas.
A young man who lives in the Bronx wants to know how long it took the Pilgrims to eat their Thanksgiving dinner.
Even with the help of the Indians who came to the feast, so much food was prepared it took them a week to eat it all up.
A woman writes from Tenafly, New Jersey. Did the colonists learn how to make cranberry sauce from the Indians, or did the Indians learn how from the white settlers?
Neither. Each had learned how before they met. When the Pilgrim settlers arrived in this country, they found the Indians using cranberries in their pemmican and making a cranberry sauce with maple syrup, while the people of Europe had learned to make cranberry sauce with sugar from the Scandinavians.
A note from a Hyde Park, New York man reads, what with all the fuss we've been having, whether the 3rd or 4th or 5th Thursday in November should be Thanksgiving, I wonder if you can tell me which one has a historical authority behind it. Which Thursday was the first Thanksgiving held on?
The 2nd Thursday, in December. The first Thanksgiving was proclaimed by Governor George Bradford as December 13th, 1621.
A young man who lives on Staten Island inquires, who was the first man to eat turkey?
We do not know who the very first was, but Benjamin Franklin said the first Europeans of promise to eat turkey were Charles IX of France, his bride Elizabeth of Austria, and the guests at their wedding feast in 1570.
This question comes from a West New York, New Jersey listener. Do they have anything like our Thanksgiving Day in England?
No, not much. The English do celebrate a good harvest by appropriate ceremony in rural areas. But in the past, when they've had a day of national Thanksgiving, it's usually been to celebrate a victory in battle, or because the king had recovered from an illness.
A White Plains, New York listener writes, please settle something. Counting one for each state, how many Thanksgivings are there this year? It has to be 48, doesn't it?
No, 50. In the continental United States, today there are 42 Thanksgivings. Next Thursday, there are 8. That's because 2 states celebrate twice. And now, in order that we may always have a Thanksgiving, I'm going to ask everyone in the radio audience to buy a share in America. On behalf of my sponsor, the Tromer Breweries, I want to remind you to do everything within your power to support the 6th War Loan. When the Victory Volunteer calls at your door, open up the purse strings and buy an extra war bond. Do your best over here so it will go better over there. And now let's have some more questions of a general nature.
All right. Here's one from a Brentwood, Long Island listener. Can you marry your cousin in New York State?
Yes.
And a young man writes from Stamford, Connecticut. Isn't reading funny books a good way to take your mind off your lessons?
Yes, reading funny books is an excellent way to take your mind off your lessons.
A Ramsey, New Jersey listener writes, some years ago, H.G. Wells chose what he thought were the 6 greatest men of all time. Do you remember who they were?
H.G. Wells chose as the 6 greatest men of all time Jesus of Nazareth, Buddha, Ashoka, Aristotle, Roger Bacon, and Abraham Lincoln.
A White Plains, New York man asks, when was the first game law put into effect in America?
In 1694, when the Massachusetts colonists established a closed season on deer.
And a woman of Farmingdale, Long Island inquires, what is the Lutine, L-U-T-I-N-E, bell?
The Lutine bell is a ship's bell. HMS Lutine went aground off the coast of Holland, carrying 1 million or more British pounds in gold and silver, which had been insured at Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's paid the claim, and so, when the ship's bell was recovered some years later, claimed it. The Lutine bell is now rung at Lloyd's whenever there's important news. 1 ring for bad news, 2 for good.
A Far Rockaway, Long Island man writes, the Chicago transportation lines have gone into bankruptcy, so I'd like to know, what are the fares they charge in Chicago now?
8 cents on streetcars, 10 cents on subways and elevated lines, and 10 cents on buses.
A Camp Upton, Long Island soldier inquires, what did the United States Infantry Company consist of during the Revolutionary War?
During the Revolutionary War, a company in the United States Infantry consisted of 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, 1 ensign, 4 sergeants, 6 corporals, 2 musicians, and 90 privates.
This note from a Bronxville listener reads, if the automobile was invented in England over 100 years ago, why wasn't it in use there in Victoria's time?
The automobile was invented by an Englishman by the name of Trevithick in 1801. But further development of the machine was arrested by the Red Flag Act, in which Parliament decreed that a man had to walk ahead of any automobile with a red flag by day and a red light by night. And this in spite of the fact that the speed of Trevithick's car was only 4 miles per hour. The law was not repealed until 1896.
A listener of Poughkeepsie, New York asks, who were the first people to say they were paying through the nose?
The Irish. In the 9th century, the Danes, who conquered Ireland, imposed a poll tax that was historically called the nose tax.
A high school girl writes from Newark. In my English course, I read a book called The Lost Mine of Tissingal. Is there really such a mine?
Yes. The Lost Mine of Tissingal, from which the Spaniards took an untold amount of gold, is located somewhere in the province of Chiriquí in the Republic of Panama. But no one knows exactly where. All traces of the mine were lost after the massacre of the Spanish in 1611.
This letter comes from a Long Island City listener and reads, suppose a man is standing holding a bag of grain on each shoulder. Now, after the lifting has been done, is he working? Is he exerting himself?
Yes, the man is exerting energy every moment he's holding the bags up. In fact, it's work for a man just to stand, without holding anything.
A man who lives in Brooklyn asks, when did Charlie Miller win the 6-day bicycle race he won?
Charles Miller won his first 6-day bicycle race at the old Madison Square Garden in 1897, won again in 1898, and rode with Frank Waller to win his first team race in 1899.
A young man of Torrington, Connecticut, wonders if squirrels are the only animals that come down a tree head first.
No. Squirrels, chipmunks, and similar rodents are the only animals that naturally come down trees head first. But apes, monkeys, raccoons, porcupines, opossums, kinkajous, and other heavier-bodied tree climbers may come down a tree head first if they're in a hurry. And coatimundis are not in the least particular which way they come down. With coatimundis, it's pretty much which end up they are when they start.
Next, the Bronx listener asks, where does Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, lie buried?
Beneath a huge rock atop a peninsula mountain in Braddock near Bedeck, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia.
A Valley Stream, Long Island woman inquires, what is triskaidekaphobia?
Triskaidekaphobia is morbid fear of the number 13.
And a Forest Hills, Long Island golfer asks, did 2 golf balls ever hit in midair?
Yes, a number of times. Head on, from an angle, and even one ball overtaking the other. In 1928, at Wentworth Falls, Australia, playing chip shots from opposite sides of the fairway, two players swung at about the same time. Another player who was standing at the pin saw the two golf balls hit in the air and then both drop into the hole.
A Brooklyn woman inquires, what is the height of a city milk bottle? Quart size.
The common variety is 9.5 inches tall.
Here's a question from a listener in Smithtown, Long Island. How much water does the geyser Old Faithful in Yellowstone Park spout when it goes off every hour?
Old Faithful geyser spouts between 10 and 12,000 gallons of hot water every 65 minutes.
A letter from a man who lives in Palisades, New Jersey reads, I've heard it said that the Palisades, that is, the channel cut by the Hudson River, extends out into the Atlantic Ocean quite a ways beyond what we think of as the mouth of the river. Can this be true?
Yes, it's true. The channel of the Hudson River extends out into the Atlantic to a spot about 100 miles south and east of Ambrose Lightship off Sandy Hook.
How deep is the gorge?
At its mouth, the channel is 1,600 feet below sea level. And since the ocean there is only 260 feet deep, the underwater Palisades must be 1,340 feet high.
A Trenton man inquires, at what time between the end of the last war and the beginning of this one was there the least unemployment in this country?
During the peak of prosperity in 1929, there was less than 500,000 unemployed, an estimated 429,000.
A Trenton, New Jersey listener writes, how about a Thanksgiving toast? Got one?
Yes, indeed. A toast to wartime Thanksgiving. Here's to the things for which we're thankful. Here's to the blessings we enjoy today. Here's to the day of real Thanksgiving, the day our boys come home to stay.
Do your part to speed that day, friends. Open up the purse strings. Open up your heart. In this 6th war loan, let's show our thanks to our boys by buying more and more and still more United States war bonds. They want to get it over. We want them to get it over. Our fighting dollars will help finish the job, will help bring nearer the day our boys come home, the day of real Thanksgiving. Remember, if you have a question you want answered, ask the answer man. Ask any question you wish, and provided it has a definite answer that is not of a personal nature and does not violate professional ethics, you will get the answer by mail and without charge. Send your question, together with a stamped, addressed envelope, to the Answer Man, WOR, New York, 18. When the Answer Man returns to the air tomorrow evening at 7:15, he'll broadcast the answers to such questions as, what are the chances of one star colliding with another? Is there such a thing as an Arabic typewriter? Why don't bats bump into things when flying around in the dark? How many of the United States are surrounded on 3 sides by water? When were 12-year-old boys admitted to the Marine Corps? And why do the Chinese tie whistles on their pigeons' tails? So join us again tomorrow evening at 7:15 for Albert Mitchell's program,
And that's where the transcription cut off. The Answer Man from 79 years ago, November 23rd, 1944. You noticed everybody who wrote a question and sent a self-addressed stamped envelope got an answer long before Google. You could get get an answer that way without having to do your own research. Alrighty, thank you for joining us here for this Thanksgiving Day edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll be back for the Friday edition with an episode of The Dennis Day Show from 1955, Point Sublime from 1947, Calling All Cars from 1938, and Dragnet and Lum and Abner. That's all coming up on our Friday edition. A reminder, our webpage, classicradio.stream. Want to thank again our friends Robert and Sean, who have our most recent people who have done the Buy Me a Coffee function at classicradio.stream. We appreciate them very much for financially supporting this program. And we hope you will tell everybody about the Classic Radio Theater podcast.